Good evening, Samurai! Welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel, welcome to the Vortex. My name is Ezio and I will be your guide this evening as we bring the epic saga of the Outer Worlds to its close. This afternoon, we found the murderer of Halcyon Helen. We found a massive twist in the story that I am really quite surprised about, and I will be raving about it, so spoilers! I'm sure I'll mention it at some point in the stream, but yes! If you haven't seen it in the VODs, go and watch it because it's good. And I will, hopefully before I do my thoughts video, because I'm not going to spoil it before. It's just watching the VODs. And we killed the Queen of the Shrimp, huzzah, huzzah. So, now we are in Tartarus. We are facing off against the final villain of the game. We are going to finish the game. We are going to see the endings. We're going to do the thoughts video, and hopefully, if we have time, we're going to start our next journey this evening. Our journey onto the streets of Kamurocho. As we continue, as we journey forth into Yakuza 0. Gonna be a blast. So with that said, I've waffled on long enough. Come, join me as we once more step foot into the Vortex as we continue to travel and traverse the world, the realm, for the final time of the Outer Worlds, Murder on Eridanos. Our destination lays before us. The controls are set. So let's go, shall we? Boop. Doo-doo, doo-doo. Well, I'll do that. There we go. This is either going to go really well, and we're going to unlock the easy way past the boss by just talking our way out of it, which I hope we can do, or we're going to have to fight the final boss again. And that was a pain in my backside the last time we did that. So we'll see how it all goes. One of those things where I really should have done things properly the first time round, but whatever. Okay, let's put the gun away. Quick save, because that's where we've loaded, so we will go and talk to...
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life. You've been working with Dr. Wells from the beginning. When we moved to arrest him, he was prepared. I lost good soldiers in the attempt. You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty.
Don't tell her about the uncertainty principle, then. We're liberating Halcyon, and there isn't a thing you can do to stop us. Actually, hold on. Actually, it's over, Sophia. Stand down.
I'm afraid I can't do that. I'm aware of your diplomatic talents, Captain. You have a gift for manipulation, but I warn you, I'm no easy mark. For all your talents, you are the enemy of Halcyon, and therefore you are my enemy.
And you're going to do your duty or die trying. I get it. Let's move along. No, hold on. We don't have to be enemies. We're working together. We've worked together in the past.
Our partnership is behind us. You had your chance to work with me, but you elected to, as the common worker might say, throw in with that demented old test tube jockey. Dr. Wells is being held in my custody. His cooperation will prove invaluable, even if I have to beat it out of him. All that's left to do is put down this riot, arrest you, and then get on with the bloody business of saving this colony.
I don't enjoy the thought of killing you. There's been enough violence already.
In that we are in agreement. An end to violence is precisely what I want. An end to chaos. An end to senseless loss of life. The only obstacle standing in my way is you. You were one of my finest agents once. I don't want to destroy you. Turn yourself in, and I may yet show clemency.
Let's talk about this.
Fair enough. I'm giving you exactly one chance to parley with me.
There we go. Persuade 105. You don't want to die on Tartarus. I'm giving you a chance to walk away.
Interesting that you think I'm going to die here. I believe I'm more than capable of taking you on.
Uh-oh. Let's see. No, I'm not going to insult her. That's a bad idea. And I'm not going to say you have no chance. So let's play logically. Nothing stopped me so far. What makes you think you will?
Fair point. I don't know how you've managed to defy the odds. By every reasonable estimate, you should be dead. Yet here you stand.
Yep.
I've devoted my entire life to protecting Halcyon. I'm not afraid to die in the line of duty.
Oh, this is where we might screw it up. Halcyon is collapsing. If protecting the colony was your duty, you failed. Or the board's not worth dying for. I've devoted my entire life to protecting Halcyon. I'm not afraid to die in the line of duty. Halcyon's collapsing. If protecting this colony was your duty, you failed.
Don't you think I know that? Yes, I made mistakes. Costly mistakes. Leaving you alive was the worst of them all. You were always an unknown variable. I tried to recruit you, but you threw your lot in with that madman, Phineas Wells.
What? Oh, Gordon Bennett! Persuade 90, Science 90. Dr. Wells and I are both scientists. We believe Halcyon can be saved.
This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight and rinse your remains down a drain. And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically, or something.
Right, I'm going to reload and see if we can do that again. There must be a way to get around that without the science check.
Captain, you...
Over, stand down. Don't have to be enemies. Let's talk about this. Persuade. Nothing stopped me so far. Board's not worth dying for.
There isn't much of a board left, thanks to you. You've thrown this system into disarray. Cleaning up your mess will be the work of a lifetime. You were always an unknown variable. I tried to recruit you, but you threw your lot in with that madman, Phineas Wells.
Piffle. No way I can... Right, there's no way I can get my science up to stat, is there? '84. Tech skill. Inventory. I might be able to, actually. Still have that tech armor. I might have got rid of it. I'm an idiot. I really am an idiot. Lockpick. Sneak. Personality attribute +1. Inspiration block. Sneak. hack, stealth, hack, fence, hack. Annoying. Right. What if I equip that? Why? Oh, I don't have a workbench. I equip that. Throw that on as well. Then character 88. $90, and then I have 2 tribute. There we go. Okay, we can do it. We can do it. We have to play a bit loose and fast with our gear, but we should be able to convince her. So we equip our livery, and we might as well just throw on the top hat because why not? Then inventory, medical. 2 of them. That should bring our science skill up to 93. That's lie. Science. 93. Awesome. Right, before that wears off then.
Captain, you...
So, it's over. We don't have to be enemies. Let's talk about this. Wade. You can stop me so far. Halcyon's collapsing. Science. You weren't trying to recruit me, you were trying to control me. Why do I suddenly have that as a perception? Whatever. Persuade 90. Oh, perception. Perception's not high enough. Persuade 90. Science 90. Dr. Wells and I are both scientists. We believe Halcyon can still be saved.
I'm aware of Dr. Wells' plan. Revive some brilliant scientists and engineers from the Hope and work with them to save the colony. He's already revived you, after all. 50 or 60 years ago, I might have agreed with you. But we've passed the point of no return. The best scientists in Halcyon can't save us now.
It's going to take a miracle to save Halcyon, but we can do it if we work together.
I appreciate your confidence, Captain. But so long as you're allied with Dr. Wells, we can never work together. I haven't given up on the program yet. You've caused some complications, but I can improvise. I can fix this. I haven't lost control of the labyrinth yet. Our security system is still operational. I can still put a stop to you.
Ah. Gordon Bennett. This is such a... I can't do it. No way I'm going to be able to get Lion Hack up that high. Right, let's try again with a different option. In case you're wondering, yes, I really don't want to fight that blasted robot again. I don't want to do it, chat. I don't. Such a pain last time. Skills. Hack 71. Lie 103. Hack needs to be 90. What if we put on our hacking gear then? Stealth plus 5, hack plus 7. So science is still 93. Hack is now 80. Hack is still low. Lie is enough, but need, what is it, hack of 90? I mean, we can try with what we're currently got.
Cap, you... I've devoted...
Watch me.
I admire your drive, Captain. But I won't let you spoil my plans a second time. I haven't...
Not enough. Right. Okay. Load game. Let's try the last option on that one then. And if all else fails, we just have to reload and fight. I like the idea of it, mind you, but I suppose we've got little option otherwise.
Captain, you...
Okay.
Fair point. I don't know how you... I've devoted... You were... I'm aware...
There we go.
Our fault. If the board had acted a generation ago, if we'd recognized the warning signs, we would never need to implement the program. I haven't given up on the program yet. I haven't lost control of the...
Oh, temperament's gone up. I don't know how, but okay, sure, we'll do that. Okay, you're getting flustered. Accept that you've lost and walk away with dignity.
I don't know if I can do that. I had a duty to protect Halcyon, and I failed. If I walk away now, I'll be remembered as a coward.
Okay, right, so... fun. You'll be remembered as a soldier who did her duty, nothing more, nothing less. Would you rather be remembered as a casualty? You've been beaten by the best, no shame in that. You'll be remembered as a soldier who did her duty. Nothing more and nothing less? Or would you rather be remembered as a casualty? Would you rather be remembered as a casualty?
No. I know you well enough to realize I'm not likely to survive a confrontation with you. Congratulations, Captain. You've outplayed me. I accept your terms and will return Dr. Wells to your care.
Thank you. I'm glad we could settle this without violence.
I just hope you've made the right decision. The fate of the colony is in your hands now. I bid you farewell, Captain.
Done it! Awesome, we passed the checks. I don't know how I did that, but I'm making a save of it anyway. Awesome. Means if I ever want to just watch the endings again. Oh, goodness for that. Oh, hello, this is different. Oh, wait. Ah, okay, last time I think I took that door down. That's sealed. I might have taken that door down. Or this, or I've completely forgotten it and this leads all the way down to the staircase at the bottom. The RAM unit's in there, I think. Oh, bodies in there. Yeah, there's the RAM unit. And those are the rooms the little robot drones came out of, and they were a pain, and that's the room where I usually had my companions in there fighting alongside me. Awesome. Oh, absolutely ace. And this is where she shot me. Dude, we did it. Chairman's key. Confront Sophia. Done. There's Phineas. Let's end it. Got it.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You must have said something to get under Akande's skin. She's gone, and I don't think she's coming back. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough.
You know I wouldn't let anything happen to you, Phineas.
I know, my friend, I know. And now it's finally over. The board's finished. It's only a matter of time before the entire system slips from their grasp. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated.
I don't like the sound of all that.
Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
They haven't exactly been hands-on around here anyway. So there's one less rubber stamp to worry about.
Earth is humanity's home planet, Miss Fenhill. The psychological effects of losing our original home will be devastating.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own.
We have a lot of work ahead of us. Let's get started. Oh, wait, hold on a second. I need to ask you something.
Yes, certainly. I'll help however I can.
What do you think happened?
I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I don't know why Earth's gone silent. I don't even know if Earth exists anymore. We have no connection back to Earth, and return is likely impossible. We're completely alone out here.
You mentioned a frigate disappearing.
You might have heard of the Earth Directorate's frigate. Half the colony's entire military was on that ship. They were returning to Earth when they vanished without a trace. That was 2 years ago. We haven't heard a word from them since. Whatever happened to Earth likely happened to them.
There's something else. I know about the other colonists, Phileas.
I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you, but after all you've done, I owe you an explanation. Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. Each of my experiments ended in catastrophic failure. Each of my subjects died in agony. You are my first and only success. I didn't tell you about the others because I didn't want to burden you. My failures are my own to bear, not yours.
I forgive you, Phineas.
Thank you. Perhaps in time I'll learn to forgive myself. My apologies. I need to get a hold of myself. We've far more pressing issues to worry about right now. If you have any more questions, ask me. I'll answer as best I can.
I don't have any more questions. Got work to do.
Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us?
AM7. I'm going to run the colony myself. I've already convinced the chairman to take my side. You can count on me. I'll help revive the other colonists. I'm going to do what I've always done whenever I want at all time. You can count on me. I'll help revive the other colonists. We need them. Oh, oops. Oop.
When I revived you, I thought you were going to help me save this colony. I was wrong. I had our roles reversed, you see. You're the one who's going to save us all. I'm just the one who set you on your path. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
And there we go. Lifetime employment.
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists: engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers, schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. Olivia and Minnie Ambrose worked together to cure the marauders Adrena Time had created. Through their partnership as scientist and administrator, they discovered the harmony that had eluded them as mother and daughter. And through years of patience and effort, they discovered the means to wean Halcyon from the scourge of Adrena Time. Their work eventually allowed Wells and his scientists to treat many of Halcyon's marauders. As their addiction waned, the colonists who had lived for so long under the thrall of Adrena Time returned to their communities and loved ones, and joined in the effort to save Halcyon. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. The Rizzo's company in Halcyon dissolved after the collapse of the board. Needless to say, the launch of Spectrum Brown was indefinitely delayed. A stockpile of Spectrum Brown remains buried deep beneath the ruins of the old distillery, abandoned to time and attrition. With the dissolution of the board, Ruth Bellamy found herself without the two constants in her life: Byzantine culture and her sister Belinda. In the face of this new reality, she struggled to find a direction for her life. The colony had moved on from Halcyon Helen and would require new heroes in the years to come. And so Ruth Bellamy decided it was time to exit stage left. She quietly disappeared from public view.
And joined the unreliable.
The board did not mean the dissolution of the ambitions of Cedric Kincannon, the charismatic leader of Sublight Underground. Cedric offered Slug's transportation services to the newly thawed colonists and set to work ferrying resources and food wherever they were most needed. For better or worse, Slug headgear became fashionable in the following years. As the board began to disintegrate, Spencer Woolrich found himself at a crossroads. Cling to what little stardom remained to him, or help usher Halcyon into its new future. To the surprise of many, perhaps himself most of all, Spencer chose the latter option. Having learned a variety of different skills in the many different roles played throughout his lengthy career, Spencer founded a radio serial dedicated to staying alive despite the odds. His subjects included how to survive violent encounters with only grazing wounds, dispense pithy one-liners for tense scenarios, and, of course, how to look good doing both. After a brief attempt at dating Helen as one person rather than two, which both Bertie and Helen found too strange, Bertie struck out on his own to try his hand at raising woolly cows. Many of his former Rangers teammates soon followed, accompanied by the woolly cow the team had originally plied with alcohol. The dairy farm thrived under Bertie's leadership and care.
Good on him.
The Dairy Rangers privately believed that the woolly cows softened Bertie's temper considerably, although the only one brave enough to say this to his face was promptly headbutted. Due to the board's dissolution, many of the Prophet's old customers no longer found quite the same value in productivity seminars that they once had. With her business drying up, the Prophet chose to take her followers down a new path. Months later, salvagers on Eridanos found clues leading them to a seemingly abandoned bunker out in the wilderness. Inside, they discovered horribly mangled corpses, sacrificed to a blood-scrawled portrait of a sprat-headed deity. The prophet was not among the bodies.
Knew she was evil.
Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. As much as he enjoyed his adventures aboard the Unreliable, the vicar, known as Max, eventually decided that it was time to move on, to live out the life he had sought so long to create. He knew there were many in the colony who carried burdens much worse than the ones he had struggled with, and he devoted himself to easing their suffering wherever he could. He only ever took up arms again to defend the defenseless. Unshackled from a lifetime of striving and fighting the universe and himself, Vicar Maximilian de Soto was finally at peace. Once the matter with the Hope colonists was resolved, Junlei bashfully asked Parvati if she'd like to join her permanently on the Groundbreaker, and Parvati enthusiastically, if somewhat awkwardly, agreed. The stories of her adventures spread across the colony, and Parvati soon found herself the center of attention. Having served as the engineer of a renowned spacecraft, tramp freighters and wildcat miners sought her out by name, and in no time, she was a fixture in the Groundbreaker's mechanical ecosystem. She and Junlei were never far apart. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide, or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories, could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. It was widely suspected that Sophia Akande was the true power behind Chairman Rockwell. However, after the riots on Tartarus, she was never again seen in the colony. Various theories circulated as to her fate. Some believed she boarded an interstellar ship capable of journeying to a distant colony. Others believe she died trying to escape Tartarus. Some few suggest she fled to Monarch, where she continued to live among a small band of loyalists. There is another theory, which suggests that Sophia's encounter with you changed her, and she deliberately retreated from public view, but continued supporting the colony in secret. When Dr. Wells began reviving the Hope's colonists, he found himself with a sudden windfall of additional supplies and resources, courtesy of an anonymous donor. If Wells knew who his supplier was, he never told a soul. Chairman Rockwell served as the public face for the changes in Halcyon to come. Whenever you needed strings pulled or a voice to sell a policy change, Rockwell was only too happy to oblige. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony.
Good on you, Phineas.
Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? Long after Wells passed away, you carried on his work with more energy, determination, and brilliance than he could ever muster. The years that followed were hard, but Halcyon survived by the efforts of the Hope's most promising colonists, the greatest of which was you. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
And there we go. God, I love how the traditional Fallout-esque, like New Vegas. Well, it was made by Obsidian as well, but the traditional sort of Fallout 3 New Vegas style ending of just, here are all the things you did throughout the world. These are the things you changed. This is how you saved everyone. I love that. I love seeing how all of that goes. Sorry, that's what I wanted. I wanted to see what endings we would get from the DLC. In my headcanon is Halcyon Helen joins Captain Ezio of the Unreliable and they go off and continue to work to save the whole universe. But anyway, sorry, I didn't want to say this. I didn't want to talk too much over the ending cutscenes, but hold on. Hail M7! Cheers. And there we go. The end, the Outer Worlds, our final journey is complete. Not our final journey, our final journey into the Outer Worlds, that's it. The last DLC, the last story DLC. Game comes to a close and we leave the Halcyon colony saved and at peace. I'm so glad I came back to this game. I'm so glad I came back to this game. I love this game bit. Fallout I never got too well on with. Maybe one day I'll go back and replay Fallout New Vegas on the channel. I enjoyed Fallout New Vegas. I might go and play Fallout 4. I never finished that game, but for me, the Outer Worlds just won it. Even from the days of watching the original trailers, once I saw the sense of humor in it. The humor is very much my style of humor. I knew I would love this game. I'm so glad I thought I'd love this game, and I hoped I'd love this game, and I was right, and I do love this game. I love this game to bits. It's one of my favorite RPGs of all time. It's just... And that's it. I was so pleased to see the second DLC, and I'm so pleased I got to play it again, and I'm so pleased I got to play it with so many people this time, because the last time we ran through this, it was back when we were a much smaller channel. It's been fun, it's been brilliant. God, I love this game. One of my favourite games of all time. Easily. The thing is also, Apart from our thoughts video, which usually takes, what, about 10-15 minutes, we're not even halfway through the stream this evening. So, once we've got everything switched over, who's up for a little Yakuza, eh? And sorry I'm talking over the credits, I'm rambling now, but unfortunately with the way these games go, I'd need to talk over the credits at least a bit, so if somebody decides to pop a copyright claim against me, then I can say, you see, I was talking over it, it's transformative. Don't know if there's any leeway in that, and most of the time it doesn't actually work, but, you know, give or take, give or take. I wonder if, hold on, I'm going to check this. I'm wondering if the soundtrack for this game is on Spotify, because if it is, awesome, because I absolutely love the main theme that plays on the menus. That's not how you spell out, isn't it? Outer Worlds. The Outer Worlds Radio? No, maybe. How do you spell worlds? There we go. Oh yes, the soundtracks. Awesome. Hope. I like that. Well, I'm going to listen to this later. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Brilliantly made game. Brilliant, just brilliant graphics. Gameplay works. All the UIs and stuff work. This is the bar by which I judge most if not all RPGs of its ilk. Like in Cyberpunk, this was my bar that I was measuring Cyberpunk against. The way that the interfaces work in this game, sometimes they're a bit finicky, but the thing is, like with breaking down equipment, it's fine. It asks me if I want to break down the equipment. I can do that at the workbenches, and I can just blitz through breaking down all the equipment like that. It's brilliant. Alcohol proves an actual point. Coffee drinks and alcohol gave us a stat bonus that allowed us in the end to convince Sophia to stand down. We didn't have that in Cyberpunk. We just didn't. And it's just, that's what we need. It's just, admittedly, it was safe scumming, yes, but at the same time, we were able to go back and we were able to rejig everything and manage to do it all, and it was brilliant, and we managed to bypass that final boss. And you know what? I'm glad I redid that ending, because it always, on the download, really bugged me that we didn't get a chance to convince Sophia down and to see the ending, see that part of the ending where she gave us our resources. Done it. Finally done it. So I can leave this game happy, my conscience and my heart clear. That is it for the Outer Worlds. Oh, good Lord, I hope in a few years Obsidian announces a sequel to this game. Because they've made it clear, there are other colonies out there. There are other colonies alongside Halcyon. We can go off and we can go and play another something in one of the other colonies. I mean, entirely possible that Halcyon isn't the only colony with issues, isn't it? We shall see. We've got other colonies. Who knows? Maybe the next story will take us back to Earth. We can find out what happened. My guess, though, is that somebody at Earth, something's either there's a war on Earth and something's happened, or maybe there were aliens and Earth was cut for some reason. Yeah, I'm gonna let these credits roll. I think everyone deserves to get their bit of spotlight, but yeah. There we go. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. And one of these. Food bub. That's just the that's the afternoon. Oh. How's everyone doing anyway? Well, I hope. You know what? While I'm at... let's see. How do I do this again? I can remember. Community... Do... Peril on Gorgon. Oh, right, there are credits for all of the different ones. Okay. Go. Another assassination target. Marvelous. I hope to get to play as a neck shrimp in the sequel. No, Palomino. No. Bad. No. No shrimp. No shrimp. That's a point. It did come full circle as well. I've been, thanks to Blue finding out my distaste of shrimp from Metro Exodus. Yes, I suppose it did come full circle. You got to see my hatred of shrimp live and in person. Well, sort of in chat, I suppose. No, we're not doing the next shrimp. But that is a point. The bottles of Spectrum Brown are still in the base. Oh, yes, I did indeed take a swig of whiskey. You know what? There's not much more left in my flask, because if... Tell you what, I'll give you a freebie, eh? Hail chat. Cheers. After refill my hit flask now. No, I took the swig late. I just wanted to see the ending. IT support! Woo! My brother! Right. Not my actual brother, by the way. Just, I'm an IT tech, so I know the perils of working as IT support. I started out my career as a first-line technician. That was joyful. Anyway, Murder on Eridanos. That was a good DLC. I think I preferred Murder on Eridanos more than Peril on Gorgon. And I'm not just saying that because of Halcyon Helen. Shut up. It was such a good story. It was such a good story. I love that sort of detective things. One of these days, when I have enough vocal zone lozenges to kill an elephant, I will potentially go off and I will do a full playthrough of the Phoenix Wright of the Ace Attorney trilogy. I love the Phoenix Wright games, and you know what? I would quite happily sit here and play them. Admittedly, I'd probably fall into the trap of save scumming it repeatedly, but at the same time, I love those sorts of things. I love those sorts of whodunits. I love heists. That's why I loved GTA 5 when it came out. It's just, I love that sort of heist, sort of planning, bank robberies, Ocean's 11 sort of thing. Oh, those two, yeah. So the fact that whodunit was brilliant. I loved that twist at the end. It was fantastic. Maybe I missed a mission? Don't think I did, though. I'm pretty sure I got everything by the end of it. I mean, we went everywhere. We explored everywhere. We even met that nice chap with the mustache. Have you played GT5 Online heists? I've played No, not the heists. I played a bit of GTA 5 Online, and I just couldn't really get into it. I'm a sort of person... I grew up on single-player games and RPGs, so for me... I can sometimes play an online game, but really, I just need a story. I know there's a story with the GTA 5 heists, but at the same time, I'm also playing with other people, and I'm just not a multiplayer gamer. I'm just not often that I find a multiplayer game that I'm particularly comfortable with. I keep being told Final Fantasy 14 or something, A Realm Reborn. Apparently that's a really good MMO, and I should give it a try. I think Jamboree, who's often in chat, she's recommended it to me a couple of times, so I might give that a shot. Don't know if I'll play it on stream or not. Maybe I'll do a 3-week thing where I just play that, but yeah. Yeah, but no. Can't do that just yet, though. Because still have Yakuza 0 to start, and I can't wait. That's the plan. That's the plan. We'll finish up the credits. We'll let this all run. Line bridge localization, quality assurance, all let these run as well. We'll finish up the credits. We'll do the final thoughts video for the No Holds Barred for Murder on Eridanos. Then I'll knock it into BRB mode, quickly change over all the settings and bits and pieces for Yakuza 0. I don't know what the volume's going to be like, so I'm going to rely on you, chat, as we begin to try and work out where the volume levels need to be. And then, yeah, that starts our massive, probably 100+ hour run into one of my other favourite games. Can't wait. Can't wait to see Camarocho. I can't wait to see the insanity. And, well, I'll get into that. I'll get into all the story and the back bits when we get into Yakuza 0. But for now, I'm going to revel in the brilliance that is the Outer Worlds. God, I love this game. Only thing I dislike is my ending for Green Water. Where you start the game, is it Green Water? The Emerald Vale. Green Water, I think, was the town. I decided to go with the woman in the botanist lab. Can't help but feel that might have been a mistake. At least going off that ending bit, but I could be wrong. Unreal Engine? No, it's Unity that they use at work. Base FX. Oh, there's just technologies, isn't it? AMD Radeon. Big name for themselves recently, AMD. Especially with Ryzen and Radeon. My first graphics card was a Radeon, actually. It was a pretty nifty little card, but I moved to NVIDIA. NVIDIA I can't really move away from now because I use that as part of my setup for here. And there we go. Right. Let's wrap this up, Samurai. Okay, I've done enough waffling, so let us just delve into it. So, you know what? No, okay. The audio's not going to link up, but whatever. So, Ezio, how about we start around about here? Ladies and gentlemen, Samurai, welcome to another episode of No Holds Barred, our sort of thoughts videos we do at the end of our journeys here. Well, at the end of the game. I call them journeys, that's just a thing I do. Anyway, yes, welcome to what is quite sad, for me at least, sadly, is the last No Holds Barred I'll do for the Outer Worlds. We have just wrapped up the last DLC. Murder on Eridanos. Well, at least the last story DLC. I don't know if there's any more DLC coming out for the game, but either way, this is the last story DLC. This is probably the last time that I will ever play the Outer Worlds on the channel, at least until the next game, hopefully the next game, comes out. So, thoughts? Well, base game is still absolutely fantastic, graphics still fantastic, soundtrack, you can hear it in the background, still absolutely fantastic, characters are brilliant, the story is amazingly written, it just ticks all the boxes for me. The Outer Worlds as a whole has become the bar by which I judge most RPGs. It's just one that immediately ingrained itself in my heart, and I just love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. But how does the DLC, the second DLC, hold up? Well, I'm not going over all the graphics and stuff, that's all in the original thoughts video for the Outer Worlds. The main kicker here is the story. It's your traditional whodunit. Halcyon Helen, one of the great Ava Wave stars of our time, has been murdered at a press event for the release of a new vodka, Rizzo's Spectrum Brown, which contains a little parasitic shrimp thing in the bottom of it. That's no major spoiler, by the way. Literally, you see it plastered on all of the loading screens. A bottle of Spectrum Brown with a little shrimp sluggy thing in the bottom of it. But that's neither here nor there. She's been murdered at this press release for this disgusting looking bottle of vodka, and you've been called in, for some inexplicable reason, as an inspector to investigate the murder and try and figure out who killed her, which takes you on a romp through the atmospheric complex of Eridanos, which basically a bunch of rocks with large engines strapped to them flying around through the atmosphere of a gas giant. Beautiful set piece, by the way. Absolutely beautiful world. You can see the planet's rings above your head when you look up, and you can just see all the storms in the background. It's an amazing setting. And sometimes I did just stop, not sometimes, occasionally, very rarely I stopped, but as you walk across the bridges that interconnect each of the little islands, you can see the engines and all the things, the graphics. Graphically, it's a beautiful, brilliant, amazing place. You explore the orchard, you can explore a wilderness exploitation reserve, and you can explore all sorts of places, and it's a fairly decent-sized part of the world they've added in this DLC. The story, I won't go into spoilers because obviously who wants to have a whodunit spoiled, but my recommendation, as always, 100%, go for every one of the mission, talk to everyone you can. You will eventually end up with all the suspects, and then you will end up scratching your head. I'm pretty, well, maybe not. At least for me personally, as we went through it, and even chat will attest, I went through a bunch of theories on, oh, well, what about this? And, well, they could be, but at the same time, they don't strike me as that person. They seem like they were set up, etc., etc., etc. It's a lot of fun trying to guess who the final killer, murderer was. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. As always, the characters are fantastically written. The humor is really on point. It's sort of that. It's that sort of Douglas Adams Hitchhikers-esque sort of humor, which just to me is it's just my sort of thing. I absolutely adore it. It's brilliant. It's snarky and it's got a lot of sarcasm, and it's just, but there are also some quite obvious jokes. It's just brilliant. Companions, as always, fantastic. My recommendation for at least one, just keep Ellie with you, because one of the suspects, you have what an absolutely amazing set of dialogue between playing good cop, bad cop with Ellie, and it was fantastic. I loved it. Sorry, I keep saying fantastic a lot, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind in all instances with this DLC. It's just fantastic. Music-wise, come to think of it, I don't think there was much music that actually played, so I'm sorry, I just get caught up in the opening soundtrack. There are soundtracks and there are music and there are musical bits, but there's also a lot of ambience going on, so there's always that. And of course, there's the weapons. I've got to mention the weapons. One, there is an unlockable weapon, and it is basically a vodka-powered Gatling gun, and it has easily become my favourite gun in the game. Two, both of my favourite guns in this game now. Oh, okay, I've got 3 favourite guns. I've got several favourite guns, but 2 of them are the Gatling gun, and I'm not going to spoil the other one, but it's basically a debuff gun. You have unlimited ammo, but by hitting reload, you can change whether you remove a character, whether you debuff armor, debuff speed, or you apply a poison on the enemy. Which against tougher, if you can manage, I found it really difficult to try and work it into my playstyle, especially after getting the Gatling gun. But if you can work out how to balance it properly, it can be an exceedingly powerful weapon. Also, I was playing on hard mode, so there's also that side thing to it. Plenty of side stories, plenty of side missions to get through, to crack on with, so as always, I highly recommend doing 100% run, well, at least 100% mission run. Don't go out, you don't need to go after all the achievements. I can't, I'm on the Epic, I bought this on the Epic store when it first came out. I don't think they've got trophies yet, but there's no achievements I've got. But I did explore everywhere on the map. I found all the points of interest as far as I can tell. I completed every side mission I could find. As always, it was a blast, and I absolutely love it, and it's fantastic. And then just to wrap everything up in a nice little bow, we redid the end of the game. We took on the Tartarus complex, we faced against the board, and we have seen the endings. And the endings for both DLCs, because I didn't watch the endings for Peril on Gorgon when we played it. Both endings are brilliant. Both endings are brilliant, at least the ones that I got. Your mileage may vary depending on your playstyle. I think that's everything. I've gushed about that. There's no point going into the baseline gameplay or everything, because it's still the same beautiful, amazing gameplay from the original Outer Worlds. As I say that, I make it sound like it's a perfect game. It's not a perfect game. No game is perfect. You say a game is perfect and I will just no, but it's a fantastic game. The base game is still brilliant, and therefore all the mechanics tie in very nicely to the Outer Worlds. A bit of me is quite sad to see the end of this game, to see our journey into the Outer Worlds conclude, but you know what? It opens up the doors to the next game. Snake is a perfect game. Well, technically Tetris could also be argued as a perfect game. Sorry, I'm now arguing with chat. Thoughts video. So with that, I say arguing. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Yes, that is the Outer Worlds. I can't recommend the base game enough. I can recommend Murder on Eridanos slightly more than Peril on Gorgon. Murder on Eridanos to me is just a pinnacle of DLC. It's just maybe it's bias because I love the Outer Worlds and I love a good whodunit. To me, it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But anyway, those are just my thoughts on the game. Hopefully I've given you some insight amongst all of my random ramblings and saying the word fantastic 562 times. But I shall leave it there. And of all the, well, I say I shall leave it there. I'll try and leave it there, but something will probably spring into mind. So before that happens, hopefully this proved useful to you. Hopefully I will see you on the channel sometime in the future. If you enjoyed this, usual affair, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, you know the drill. I think you've probably been on YouTube long enough to see that, and if not, well, welcome to YouTube. Anyway, with that said and done, to each and every one of you, thank you for joining me for this thoughts video, and wherever it is around this whole wide world you are, may you all have a beautiful evening, morning, or afternoon. Hopefully I'll see you on the channel, on the Twitch channel in future, and until then, Vortex awaits, and I'll see you all next time. There we go. Welcome to YouTube. Indeed. Look, I ramble these are literally off the top of my head. So there we go. You know I can ramble sometimes. You've been here long enough, M7, to know that I can ramble sometimes, especially when I'm doing the thoughts videos. But you know what? I like to do them anyway. It just means that I can clear off some of the things in my head, and that's it. Just stick them on the YouTube, and if anyone's interested in seeing them, they can see them. There's also I usually put a bot command in as well. They are adorable. I never thought that word would apply to me, but by all means. But yeah, if you ever want to see the thoughts video, there's a, I don't know if the exclamation custom works on my chat with my bot, but I have got a chat command technically for every no holds barred up till technically the last game we played. Melody of Memories I've not added yet, but I think I've added most of them. Anyway, with that done, this is going to kill my frame rate a bit, but we shall hit quit there. We shall wait for Epic to finish cloud syncing and being a pain in the backside. And then we have 45 minutes. You know what? I'll probably run the stream a bit later tonight, actually. So knock into BRB mode. And then we shall start loading up Yakuza 0. As soon as this finishes syncing. Gordon Bennett, come on. Come on. You can do it, game. You can do it, Epic Store. Oh. I apologize if my frame rate... Yeah, okay, I'm dropping frames now. So if the frame rate's gone, sorry a bit. Did you add Kingdom Hearts to the YouTube? Yes, I have indeed. I've done my thoughts video for Kingdom Hearts to the YouTube. No, have I got this ghost of map? How did it work? Oh, I spelt the name wrong, that's why. Kingdom Hearts. No, that didn't work either. Okay, I may have mucked up my bot commands now. Has that finished? That's finished. Right, I'm going to click out that. Commands, custom. Oh, that should work. Oh, oh. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Why didn't I think of that? Oh, that didn't work. My bot died. What? Yeah, my bot's died. Fun! Or at least somewhere along the lines it's become disconnected from my Twitch channel. I don't quite understand how that's worked. Oh, well, you know what? I'm going to quickly knock into BRB mode. I am going to wire up all of the bits and pieces for our changeover to Yakuza 0. Then we shall press on. So, in about 5 minutes. If that.